June 4, 2010, Portland, Oregon. A chilly, overcast Friday morning. 7-year-old Kyron Horman, a bright-eyed boy with glasses and a love for science, stood proudly beside his science fair project at Skyline Elementary School. His subject was the red-eyed tree frog, a symbol of his curiosity and budding fascination with the natural world. That morning, his stepmother, Kyron Horman, snapped a photo of him smiling beside the display. A photograph that would become haunting, because it was the last verified image ever taken of him. Kyron never made it home. The morning began ordinarily enough. Kyron Horman drove Kyron to school, arriving at about 8 a.m. for the science fair, where parents and students roamed the hall's viewing exhibits. According to her account, she walked with him through the fair, admired his project, and then left him in the hallway as he turned toward his classroom. She says she watched him walk away. That moment, if true, was the last anyone saw him. By the time classes began at 10 a.m., Kyron's teacher marked him absent. No alarms were raised immediately. With dozens of parents moving through the school for the fair, it seemed possible a mix-up had occurred. The school day came and went. But when the school bus pulled up at the Horman home that afternoon, Kyron was not on it. His stepmother waited, expecting him to come bouncing off the bus. Instead, there was only confusion. Calls were made. Panic began to spread. By 3:45 p.m., when it became clear that no one knew where Kyron was, the nightmare began. Law enforcement launched a massive search. Hundreds of volunteers, officers, and even the FBI joined in. The area surrounding Skyline Elementary was rugged, with dense woods, ravines, and streams. Searchers combed through fields and brush. Helicopters scanned from above. Dive teams searched the waters. Posters with Kyron's face appeared across Portland. A little boy with a gap-toothed smile, his glasses slipping slightly down his nose. But despite one of the largest search operations in Oregon's history, no trace of Kyron was ever found. The focus quickly shifted to Kyron Horman. She was the last person known to have seen Kyron alive, and her story raised questions. Some parents at the science fair did not recall seeing Kyron with her, though the school was crowded. Her timeline after leaving Skyline was murky. She claimed she ran errands, visited gyms, and drove her toddler daughter around to soothe an earache. Yet cell phone records showed inconsistencies, gaps in time that investigators found troubling. As detectives pressed deeper, a portrait of dysfunction within the Horman family began to emerge. Kyron Horman, Kyron's father, had married Kyron in 2007 after divorcing Kyron's biological mother, Desiree Young. Desiree had battled illness during Kyron's early years and had agreed to Kyron having primary custody. But Kyron, now Kyron's stepmother, was viewed with growing suspicion. Within weeks of the disappearance, Kyron moved out of the family home with his daughter. Citing concerns about Kyron's behavior, a restraining order followed. Adding fuel to suspicion was a shocking allegation. A landscaper who worked for the family told police that months earlier, Kyron had approached him, allegedly asking if he would kill her husband, Kyron. He claimed she offered money and details, though no crime was ever carried out. Investigators treated his account seriously, but Kyron denied it. To the public, however, the story cemented her as the prime suspect. Despite the suspicion, no arrests were made. There was no physical evidence tying Kyron to Kyron's disappearance. No body, no weapon, no confirmed crime scene. The investigation stalled in a frustrating limbo. The case exposed troubling lapses at the school. How had a child vanished in broad daylight during a public event without anyone noticing? Why had his absence not triggered immediate concern? In hindsight, The crowded chaos of the science fair created the perfect opportunity for a predator. But was the predator a stranger lurking in the halls, or someone the boy knew and trusted? Over the months and years that followed, theories multiplied. Some believed Terry snapped in a moment of anger or resentment and harmed the boy, covering her tracks. Others suggested she may have handed him off to someone else, perhaps as part of a larger plan. A darker theory emerged that Kyron could have been taken by a stranger, the victim of a chance abduction, though such a brazen act inside a school seemed almost unthinkable. Desiree Young, Kyron's biological mother, became one of the most vocal advocates for answers. She openly accused Terry of involvement, insisting she knew more than she admitted. Court documents later revealed Terry had exchanged thousands of text messages in the days surrounding Kyron's disappearance, some of them with another man, painting a picture of distraction and secrecy. Yet none of it amounted to proof. The investigation dragged on for years. Grand juries convened but produced no indictments. Terry eventually left Oregon, moving to California, where she faced other legal troubles but never charges related to Kyron. Each passing year without answers deepened the mystery. Meanwhile, the search for Kyron became one of the most extensive missing child cases in American history. Age-progressed images were released, showing what he might look like at ages 10, 15, and beyond. His face appeared on national news, websites, and posters, a child frozen in time as the world aged around him. The chilling fact remained: no body, no belongings, no evidence ever surfaced. It was as if Kyron had vanished into thin air, swallowed by some invisible hand. The disappearance revealed the fragility of trust within families, schools, and communities. It showed how, even in a crowded building, a child can slip into danger unnoticed. And it exposed the limits of law enforcement when faced with a mystery that refuses to yield its secrets. To this day, Kyron's fate remains unknown. Was he murdered in a moment of rage and his body hidden where searchers never looked? Was he abducted and taken far from Portland, his life rewritten in secret? Or could he still be alive, his childhood stolen but his story unfinished? For the Horman family and for the community that searched and prayed, the questions are unbearable. Terry Horman, never charged, lives under the weight of suspicion. And Desiree Young continues to demand justice, her grief sharpened by the lack of answers. Kyron Horman, too, has spoken of the silence left by his son's absence, a silence that has not lifted in more than a decade. Kyron Horman's case is a reminder that not all crimes announce themselves with blood or violence. Some unfold quietly in the spaces between what we know and what we cannot prove. His disappearance is not just a missing child case, it is a hole in time, a wound that has never closed. June 4, 2010, began with a boy proudly showing his science project. By afternoon, he was gone. And in the years since, the world has asked again and again, what happened to Kyron Horman? The answer remains lost, hidden in silence, guarded by someone who has never spoken the truth. Until that silence breaks, the mystery endures, a haunting echo from the hallways of a Portland school. That's it for today. Until the next mystery. Stay vigilant.